Thank you, Ranking Member Schweikert, and thank you for our witnesses for joining us today. Protecting retirement options for vulnerable Americans and improving the Social Security system is a critical issue for a strong America. And I know many of us are here as we talk about looking at how do we find real solutions for this problem. Instead of legislation that actually does tackle the problem, the Democrats' proposal expands the size of the program, creates new and permanent tax increases, and will only kick the insolvency can down the road by 4 years. After that, the remaining balance will have to be addressed again by additional tax increases or benefit cuts. Social Security 2100 would add trillions to our national debt, a burden that we passed on to taxpayers, small businesses, and to our economy. That, coupled with a current economy and reckless record spending, will be a giant anchor around the American economy. As I've said before, it's not just our current generation that'll have to pay for it, but it'll be our grandkids. In addition to that, it'll be our great grandkids as well. So we can't rely on something like Social Security 2100 to provide solutions instead of just expanding its broken system. We need to look at how can we fix Social Security before we talk about expanding it. Dr. Blowhouse, you served as one of the Senate-confirmed public trustees for Social Security and Medicare. Since then, both seats, both the Democrat and Republican, have remained vacant. In your opinion, what's the role of the public trustees, and how important are they ensuring that policymakers can rely on the accuracy and credibility of the trustees' report?
Well, thank you for that. I feel that the public trustee positions are extremely important. They were created in the 1983 program amendments, and that was expressly to ensure that the public could have confidence in the objectivity and the reliability of the projections. So the absence of public trustees deprives the process of public oversight. It deprives the process of bipartisan oversight. I'm sure that the current actuary's office and the people working in the departments and the cabinet secretaries who work on the trustees' reports, I have no reason to believe they're not doing the absolute best that they can. But there is an important role for the public trustees. It's not like the Treasury Secretary and the HHS Secretary don't have other things they need to do in the course of a day. I mean, in the practical sense, the public trustees are the ones who have to roll up their sleeves, work with the staff of the departments, make sure that all the assumptions and methodologies are as they should be, and then explain the projections to lawmakers, press, and public. So I think the roles are extremely important.
Exactly. I mean, making sure that we have citizens involved in the actions of our government and the things going on there. So thank you. Ms. Wade, how can we look at ways that we can hold the administration and the Democrats accountable for their pledge not to raise taxes on those making less than $400,000 a year?
Sure. I mean, the idea of small business owners having to increase or pay for these increased tax burdens, all these taxes are not in a silo as far as a small business owner is concerned. It all contributes to their bottom line, the health of their business, and their ability to reinvest in their business and their employees. All tax increases contribute to this burden that small business owners have. And they're in that unique position where it's more difficult for them to absorb those costs. And so any type of tax increase is going to create incentives for business owners to adjust business operations, and not in the ways that we want them to. We want them to increase and expand their business when there are market opportunities, and not weigh those cost benefits with how much more they're going to have to take on as far as a tax burden. And so this is the challenge that many business owners face, and they're increasingly having to face this with all the different tax components that are increasing and eating into business earnings.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, particularly small businesses are in more often than not pass-throughs or individual partnerships, and they end up having to pay both sides of the tax burden. So anyway, thank you for that, and I will yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Estes.